Today on Eye on Northwest Politics.
To restore our city, we need to fight for every inch of it.
Portland City Commissioner Rene Gonzalez is running for mayor. We break down the 2024 race, my exclusive interview with the first-term commissioner and mayoral candidate in just 2 minutes. Plus, who will take Congressman Earl Blumenauer's seat in Washington, D.C.? The Oregon Democrat is ending his nearly 30-year run in Congress. Now, State Representative Maxine Dexter is throwing her name into the mix. I'm one-on-one with her about the race for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Eye on Northwest Politics starts now. And thanks for joining us. This is Eye on Northwest Politics. I'm Lisa Balick in for Ken Boddy. Let's get right to the political headlines. Now, we know one current city commissioner is not entering the Portland mayor's race, Dan Ryan. He made that announcement on Monday. Commissioner Ryan says he is considering running for a seat on the new 12-person city council next year. Commissioners Rene Gonzalez and Mingus Mapps are running for Portland mayor. Commissioner Carmen Rubio has not announced a decision. Portland's mayor and the Multnomah County Commission chair promised to work together better to solve the homeless crisis. They plan to enter into a new 3-year agreement for the Joint Office of Homeless Services, but that still has to be approved by the full City Council and County Commission. Now, some City Council members are looking at ending the partnership. They say the city was giving the county money and not getting accountability. Now, Mayor Wheeler and Commission Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson say they have ways to improve working together, sharing more information on how money is spent. If approved, the new agreement would go into effect after the current one ends in July. And in Salem, lawmakers approved giving $19 million to the Oregon Department of Transportation for a financial emergency, a request from Oregon Governor Tina Kotek. Now, for weeks, ODOT has said budget shortfalls could lead to unsafe road conditions this winter. Out of that $19 million package, $8 million is for essential winter road maintenance, $7 million towards highway improvements. The remaining $4 million will be used to replace 10 snowplow trucks. Well, first-term Portland City Commissioner Rene Gonzalez is running for Portland mayor in 2024. He's worked in Portland City Hall since January after defeating incumbent Commissioner Joanne Hardesty in November of last year. He's a small business owner and attorney. He calls himself a centrist in the Portland political landscape. Commissioner Rene Gonzalez joins me now in an exclusive interview here on Eye on Northwest Politics. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me, Lisa.
Well, you've only been in office for less than a year. Why start climbing the political ladder already?
Well, the commission form of government, you serve as a mini mayor, and that's what's often called a mini mayor. You know,
okay.
And so it's been phenomenal training. I am in the middle of the public safety crisis that we're facing in our city. I address the issues head on, from the fentanyl crisis to how we get wait times down in our emergency system. I'm on the front line every single day confronting the issues that Portlanders need to have addressed. So I feel it's been fantastic training for the job.
You know, under this new form of government, the commission form, one thing that's going to change is there will be no May primary. So why announce so early when essentially it's not an election until next November for you?
We have to do a lot of fundraising. You know, was very effective last time around at fundraising, and I expect to do very well again this time. That's the first 6 months. It's largely fundraising, and then the last 6 is the campaigning.
How do you separate your current job from the one that you want in terms of running a race while you're still a city commissioner? I mean, a lot of people will think, hey, you're just kind of maybe doing this for future gain.
I mean, our day job is to serve as a city commissioner, and that's to confront our public safety crisis every single day. Fundraising is a side gig for the next few months, and like I said, it's primarily fundraising. We started really well over the last 24 hours, and I think we'll do well there. It won't be a distraction from the day job.
When you say you've already started fundraising, who are you getting support from right out at the gate?
Small donors, you know, like last time around, you know, we ran what was arguably the most successful small donor race in commission history, and north of 2,000 small donors, and we go back to those folks, and they've been rolling in with one email yesterday. We've gotten substantial support out of the gate, so thrilled with that. And those are, you know, they're capped at $350. That's anywhere from $10 to $350, and very, very happy with how that started.
You also have a lot of big donors as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to admit that. Now, a lot of people say you're the business candidate. You're the one supported by the businesses, from the businesses that say, hey, we don't want to see a single tent downtown. We don't want to see a single homeless person downtown. How do you respond to that?
Go talk to immigrants in East Portland about the homeless camps in front of their home, the RV camps that they can't get rid of on their street. Go talk to the Latino mother who can't get, that wants their children to walk safely to school. I mean, the crisis on our streets is impacting every Portlander. And I like to say, you know, it impacts the rich man's investment, it impacts the poor man's livability, and it impacts the middle classes both their livability and their investment. So this is a shared pain in the city of Portland. Our drug crisis, our inability to address head on the homeless crisis, everyone's feeling it. At the same time, I am unapologetically pro-business. We need to attract capital to this city. We need to protect employers in this city. I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive at all in this environment.
You're a lawyer. Legally, the city has been blocked at times from enacting the camping ban and some other things that they've tried. What would you do to resolve the situation?
You know, I met with Senate President yesterday, Wagner, and raised the concerns about state law and its interference with our ability to clean up our streets. About 2 years ago, state legislature put in place some restrictions that are really, really unfortunate right now. So we most certainly need help at the state law. They preempt us on both aspects of the drug crisis as well as how we address houseless camps.
Specifically, though, what? What are the couple pieces, very simply, that are blocking?
So there's an old statute in the state of Oregon that goes back 50 years, predates Measure 110, that says localities cannot prohibit outdoor consumption of hard drugs. So we have banned it in the city of Portland. I led that fight. We passed it 5-0. The city is clearly saying we don't want fentanyl and meth being consumed on our streets. But there's an old statute that says localities cannot enforce that. And so we need help from the state legislature on that. Secondly, partially in response to the Boise decision in the Ninth Circuit, state legislature, led by Governor Kotek at the time, imposed a requirement that time, place, manner restrictions have to be reasonable, however that's defined. We spent months trying to comply with that statute, and with extensive consultation with our city attorney, then to go through that process to educate Portlanders on it while residents are demanding action, and to get at the end of that and for a judge to say, you can't enforce that, or at least we're going to put an injunction in place without any explanation, is really problematic. And we're going to need help from the state legislature on that.
A couple other things. You were in charge of the Fire Bureau as commissioner, and the Portland Street Response operation is part of that. And there's been a lot of concern in the community that you're not moving fast enough to allocate the dollars to expand that program 24/7. Now, you always talk about budget concerns, but as we know, you know, if you need to find some money, you find some money in your home budget, in the city's budget. You know, I was the one, actually, they referenced an interview I did with you back in July, where you had said, I am 100% supportive of 24/7 as soon as possible for Portland Street Response. Why isn't that happening 6 months later?
Well, look, going back to February, I approved a position that I thought was the last building block for Portland Street Response to go 24/7. As far as I was informed of, I was approving the positions that were necessary to go 24/7. Portland Fire, with reassignment inside the Bureau, looked at their infrastructure and concluded there was a whole bunch of training pieces that we needed to address before there was further expansion. I deferred to my leadership there, and they were right. We were distributing tents and tarps that wasn't approved by the city. There was even drug kit distribution inside of Portland Street Response. Once we found out about that, we took a step back. Do we have the right training in place? Do we have the right procedures in place? Now, fast forward to today, we are looking at a very tough budget cycle for the city of Portland. That is reality, and I can't accept firing 911 dispatchers or police officers to fill PSR positions right now. That is an unacceptable trade-off for me. I also...
But no one's asking you to do that. I mean, in reality, that would never happen. In reality, in other words, you have a program that goes out, instead of police, helps somebody in a mental health crisis, and it's a successful program. Why wouldn't you put the dollars into that? or move Portland Street Response under a different umbrella than the fire department?
Well, we're going to look at funding sources for PSR. We have been advocating with the county and the state legislature for permanent funding for PSR, including the potential expansion 24/7. So far, that's been unsuccessful. We're waiting for the county. We've looked to the Joint Office on Homelessness to support Portland Street Response, particularly to replace some of its one-time dollars. This is the other part of the story for Portland Street Response.
So you see it maybe as the county's responsibility?
Yeah, it's behavioral health. I mean, we are, it is one of many examples of where the city has stepped in to address the humanitarian crisis on our streets, include safe rest villages, includes task sites, include our low acuity medical outreach into the community. These are areas that statutorily are the county's responsibility, and the Joint Office on Homelessness is specifically set up to address these issues with respect to our unsheltered population. PSR is a wonderful program, an innovative program, but its primary beneficiaries are those on our streets. And I think it is something that the Joint Office on Homelessness should be supporting.
Last question for you. Is this, you see the mayor's job as a stepping stone towards the governor's seat?
No, not at this point. I think right now I'm very, very focused on the challenges and opportunities of rebuilding the city and revitalizing it. So my attention is 100% there.
All right. Commissioner Gonzalez, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you, Lisa.
Well, coming up next, we have more on the race to fill Representative Earl Blumenauer's seat in Congress.